So there was a TV show called Too Close for Comfort. Too Close for Comfort was a multicam sitcom with Ted Knight, the guy from Caddyshack. He lived with two beautiful daughters, happily married, and he had this neighbor, Monroe, who, like, I think lived upstairs, played by Jim J. Bullock. Now, I'll show you a little clip of Too Close for Comfort. Okay. I'm going to pull this up. This is all going to be worth it. I didn't know we were going to go here, and we are. All right, so Too Close for Comfort theme song. We actually did this on a show. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up here, and hold on one second. Okay, so 1 second. All right. Okay, 1 second. Here we go. Okay. All right, I'm going to pause it. Okay, so this I'm going to show you this because it's all going to be. I think it's all going to be worth it. Today is going to be me promising you things are going to be worth it, and I'm going to say 50% will and some will not. Okay, so, and we'll go back to Embassy Suites in a second. Okay, here we go. This is the theme song and opening to a TV show from 1982 called Too Close for Comfort. If you remember this, great. If you don't, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Here we go. So jazzy. So many establishing shots. So many. We haven't even met the cast yet.
San Francisco.
This is my favorite one. Okay, you get that, right? That is maybe one of the best TV theme songs of all time. I'm going to pause because, first of all, they spend more time establishing San Francisco as if San Francisco is somehow a key ingredient of this show. Now, I want to bring you to this moment. This is, everyone's made fun of those very cheesy introductions, but this one really takes the cake. I want you all right, I'm going to pull it back to her. Let's see here. Okay, get ready for this. Watch her. Oh, fun phone call. Not a fun phone call. Like, that's a wild one, right? Like, what could have possibly been said to Deborah here? Fun. What?
It's so
I need to watch that a million times.
We're having fun.
When could you ever have this kind of phone call where you'd be like, "Oh yeah, so we were at the party. He fell down the stairs and he died." That would be the only way that you could elicit that, like, because you're in such a moment of laughter. Oh, he had a great time. Oh, what, died? And she's like sexily looking off camera, I guess. But then this is the other one that also takes the cake. And again, I didn't even want to go down this rabbit hole, but
what is that?
Who's she looking at? Like, these were things that were not in the episode, but like, and it feels to me like the actors were like, yeah, how about if I hold the magazine and go like they're in on the joke. Now, I will show you that Too Close for Comfort went on for a long time. Let's see here. Because I think it gets a little bit, let's see what season. Okay, this is the last season of Too Close for Comfort.
Opportunity is all around us. But to act on
my story,
you need to get out of your comfort zone.
Okay. All right, so this is 3 years later. They take out the bass line. A little bit more synthy. A little faster. Ooh, okay. We're not in San Francisco that much. They've already got the title sequence before the house. A little bit more mature on the show.
Very serious.
Oh. Oh. Oh, off the phone. Hijinks. Oh, brother, he's not happy about this. Uh-oh, the sex scene. Okay. Again, I did not know we were going to go down this rabbit hole, but it ends on a sex scene. But here's the other thing that I didn't realize in this. Jim J. Bullock is not Jim J. Bullock.
Is that a misprint?
I think it's JM J. Bullock. They couldn't have misprinted his name. Do you got? And now people want to see the Adult Swim version of it. You know what, Molly? Can you find the? I did a show called "The Greatest Show in the History of the World," and we did the recreation of it. Well, I'll do it here. Say, "The Greatest Show." You're going to watch me do this. The Greatest Show in the History of the World. Excuse my misspelling here. Too Close for Comfort. Now, I think I watched Too Close for Comfort in reruns, but I always knew when it was. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Molly may have to find it online. It's Molly, if you could find that online, that would be great. Okay, and now this is what I want to talk about. So I'm going to find this thing. All right. So you all have just seen Too Close for Comfort. Fun-loving, dad, daughters, everyone's laughing, everyone's having a good time. Here is something I'm not going to look up, but I'm going to tell you is true. Too Close for Comfort was on for about 5 years, which means it was about at 100 episodes. When you get to 100 episodes back in the day, that meant you could go into syndication, which means they could rerun it on different stations, and you get paid a lot of money because they could play it in reruns. But you needed 100 episodes. 100 episodes used to be the number of a successful show. Once you got 100 episodes, the doors were open. I mean, it seems wild. That's actually why Tyler Perry does he shoots 100 episodes in 2 years, and then he's done with the show because he knows he can sell it in syndication. So Too Close for Comfort, in their final season, whatever happened, the episode order only brought them to 95 episodes. They only had 95 episodes. So the studio goes, we still need to sell it to syndication. We're only 5 episodes away. We're going to pay our cast, our crew, and our writers to write 5 episodes. And they'll never be seen when Too Close for Comfort is actually on. It will only be played in syndication because they needed to get 100 episodes to get into syndication. So everyone's like, no one's going to see these except in reruns, after Happy Days. All right. And they just start writing wild shit. So I have this memory of an episode where Jim J. Bullock, or JMJ Bullock, gets raped on the show by 2 gay women. That was a memory that I had in my head, that Jim J. Bullock was raped by 2 women. And the punchline of the episode is that Ted Knight goes to confront the women, who are burly, tough, butch women. And he goes to confront them. And the last scene of the episode is you just see the arm of the burly woman come in, grab him by the lapel, and then pull him out of the house, alluding to Ted Knight now getting raped. So the show opens with Monroe coming back from being sexually assaulted, and then ends with Ted Knight going off to be sexually assaulted. So I was like, I remember this, right? And I talked about it, and all of a sudden, I was Googling around and I found this. Pop it up, Molly, the TV Guide listing. So here it is. Too close for comfort. Ted Knight is determined to bring to justice the two women who kidnapped and raped Monroe. Right there in the TV guide, this was kidnapped and raped Monroe. You saw the opening. Huh? That's what would be like, oh yeah, Monroe was at the mall last night. Oh, great. And he was raped. Now, I know that this episode used to exist online. I don't think you can find it anymore, but you can definitely find this. Okay. And if anyone can get me a closer link of this episode, okay. Let's see. I'm going to show you this. This is amazing. This is amazing television. Okay, so I'm going to rewind it here, pull it up. All right. Get ready, people. Am I lying? I'm not.
Rated all night.
Monroe, what do you mean that you cooperated?
I'd rather not talk about it.
Does anyone know what's going on here?
I think I do. Those two women were attracted to Monroe. They desired him and helped themselves.
I can't raise the
Help
volume.
themselves to what?
To Monroe. Had their way with him.
I can't raise the volume, unfortunately, because I think the clip is low. Those two women desired Monroe and had their way with him. And then Monroe's like, yes, it's true. Whoa. And I remember the end of the episode with the hand coming in and grabbing him out. One of the craziest episodes of TV. Now, look, I remember back in the day when Dudley got raped by the Maytag repairman after they watched dirty cartoons, because it was like, hey, kids, don't let the bicycle shop repairman touch you in your, in your bathing suit area. Get it, understand it. I remember when Sam from Different Strokes was kidnapped and they called him a different name and they forced him to live in a house, and Mr. Drummond had to like pay a ransom on the street corner. I get it. Be careful of being kidnapped at the store. I remember, very special episodes of Blossom, but this was just lunacy. In 1985, to be like, gay women are out there raping our straight men. Like, they're out there and they are attacking our men. Like, that's the gay panic, which to me is the best. It is so crazy. Okay, so Different Strokes is always a two-parter. People said male rape and quicksand were very popular in the 80s. And the title, for every man, there's two women. Whoa. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Wow. All right. So if anyone else wants to bring to my attention what they may know, or something that they feel like they don't share with people, this is something I never really talk about, the Monroe rape episode. Not that I would have a much to talk about, but let's go deep down your own rabbit holes of things that you know. Like Molly told us very blatantly that Toll House Cookies started at DoubleTree Hotels. I'm not going to Google that. I'm going to believe that to be true, that Toll House Cookies started a hotel chain. I'm in. I'm all on board. But yes, that episode is absolutely. I think the thing that gets me is, okay, sure, Monroe was raped by these two women at the mall, security guard. So it's also officer assault. But what gets me is like, they're like, all right, so how did the episode end? All right, so well, I guess like, all right, so we got to bring these women to justice. They did rape him. Oh, but Monroe can't do it. I mean, Monroe is like a little bit, he's not gonna. He's scared of these women. Oh, well, what if like Ted goes and he kind of confronts them, And as he's about to lecture them, they rape him, and we cut the credits. Like that was pitched in a room, and so I was like, yeah, that's a good ending. Yeah, the lead character of our show gets raped, and we'll never mention it again. Like the next episode, he's gonna be back drawn with that cow, and is talking to his wife. Like we are complicit. We all saw it, and we said nothing. We said nothing to his daughters or his wife that Ted Knight was raped. Okay. Dent XN just sent a clip, Molly. I don't know where that is. Now, while we are looking for that clip, I will show you what we did if I can find it here. And you know, like, are all these things that I'm talking about like are people familiar with the different strokes of it all? Because I used to talk about that different strokes episode, and people didn't know what I was talking about there. That was with Gary Coleman, and the idea that was like it was like these really dark episodes. I mean, Sam being kidnapped by somebody and being told like, your name's not Sam now, it's David. You know, and it was so disturbing as a kid for me to watch that. It was like, oh, okay. And he's in this house. And he's like, and they're like, David. And he's like, and he's like, David. And he's like, yeah, come to me when I answer you, boy. But the whole reason they kidnapped Sam is because this couple, they lost their baby. And so this dad went out to go get a new kid for his wife. That's how I remember it. And I remember Sam, this is like locked in my head. I've only watched this episode once. Sam was like in the grocery store by himself, and he was squeezing like bags of Doritos because he was like, oh, if you squeeze the bag of Doritos, you can actually tell which Doritos are best. And I remember just being like, oh my God, this is how I'm going to get kidnapped. Oh, Gary Coleman getting spanked on an episode. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is wow. Okay.
Hey,
what do we got?
So Dentak
Yes.
sent me the it's the same video that you just showed, but
Okay.
I might be able to control the volume a little more.
Okay. I mean,
No.
I think that like for all intents and purposes, great. But also I'm looking I want to see that end scene. If anyone's got that, I mean,
Someone says Aguila Huesos. I'm sorry.
Okay.
This person here
yes.
says they have it on an MP4. They're gonna download it and send it to us, but I don't know if we'll get it tonight. But I also want to tell you
we can always go back to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I also did find the side by side of Too Close for Comfort intro with the greatest history in TV.
Okay, great. Well, like that, I'm just pulling that one up right now. I think we should watch ours full out, and then
you gotta buy it, bro.
All right. No, it's on Adult Swim. I got it right here.
You got it.
But I just have to like watch commercials before I can actually play the one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, these sitcoms that we watched as kids, or at least for me, were always so much darker than anything I subject my kids to. And I remember when I showed them E.T. for the first time and they saw E.T. dying, they flipped out because it was like they were not used to this kind of subject matter. It's like they're living in a bubble. They're watching niceties. You know, all of a sudden we're getting kids kidnapped, people bulimic, whatever the case may be. There are so many commercials on this Adult Swim website. I've just been in a sea of commercials, literally just commercial after commercial. I produced this thing. I wrote this thing. I should not have to watch all these commercials. But you know what, Molly? If I'm going to watch one more commercial down here, The Rats of Nim. Oh my God.
I mean, make us watch the commercials with you, Paul.
Oh, I don't want to do fake ads. But let's see, maybe, all right, let's see. Oh my God, more commercial. This is like, I've never seen more like, this is primarily, I'm like watching it to a point where I'm like, why are there so many commercials here? I'm hoping it will end. Maybe because I skipped all the way to the end. I have to watch all the commercials together. I'm gonna keep on watching. All right. So you don't have a uBlock origin? No, I don't know. Maybe I should do that. Okay. So tons of racial episodes. Yes. All right, let's see. All right, you know what, Molly, play our version and their version because there's too many commercials. I'm watching Carl's Jr. commercials now. Let's see what we got. Rats of Nim. That was scary. Secret of Nim. Secret of Nim. And it was Watership Down. Those are the two. Oh, wait, I got it. Finally, the commercials ended. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh, this is great. We are such a big Jeff Probst family in our house now.
Ghost, y'all. Now, if you're thinking what I'm thinking, this can only mean one thing, that we are ready to reinstate the title of the greatest event in television history. Are you ready? Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Perfect. This is a complete shot, but this is all new footage. We went to San Francisco to do this. Found the house. All right,
also,
not bad.
I'm pleased to announce that because of this recreation, Hollywood producers immediately cast Catherine O'Hara and Catherine Hahn in the latest Star Wars film.
Okay, that is amazing. But now, Molly, let's see the side by side because now I want to see the side by side because we didn't even see that one. All right, here we go. You got to watch all these. We did 4 of them. Perfect recreation. Boom. And that's why you need to pay your writers and we need to make more television because no one would ever let us make something like that again. Our Paul, this NTSF, Children's Hospital, like all this stuff was made because Mike Lazo, who ran Adult Swim, liked weird shit. I literally made a show that was aired at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. that was called Hotel TV. And it was just like the dead screen that you see when you check into a hotel. So like, that's like what we were able to do there. And we got to do it with amazing people. You saw Jeff Probst, Catherine Hahn, Chelsea Peretti, Adam Scott, John Glazer. And that was Adam Scott's idea. And Adam and I worked together on that. And it was so much fun. It's just like whatever, and you can't even get this shit anymore. That's the hardest thing. It's like NTSF isn't available anywhere. I don't know why that is. It was never available anywhere. I think you can get it on Adult Swim app, but it's like Human Giant's not available anymore. All this good stuff. We have all these options, and the reason why it's not available is because no one wants to pay residuals. Anyway, I can get off my high horse. God knows I got too many opinions. But more, I want more of, oh yeah, Scheer RL, where we recreated TRL. Let's get into it though. More, we can go down the rabbit hole of sitcoms that you remember. We can go into other things that you remember. One of the things that, while you are all thinking, I want to talk about is this clip that I saw. Molly, do you have the Eyes Wide Shut? Is that something we have near? Okay, great. I would love to play this clip. This is a clip from the premiere of Eyes Wide Shut. So now, if you don't know about Eyes Wide Shut, let's set the stage for you. Eyes Wide Shut is Stanley Kubrick's last film. It's a sexual thriller about Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman in this marriage that is missing something, a spark. And I'm doing a bad job of saying it, but Tom Cruise goes to the secret sex club. It's a movie that is dense. Some people don't like it. I love it. It's a movie that famously gave like Tom Cruise an ulcer because they spent so much time on it. If you know anything about Stanley Kubrick, you know that his process was incredibly intense, incredibly serious, and all of his movies, deal with subject matter that is a little higher brow, right? And this is a sex thriller, deep stuff, right? Okay. Watch the red carpet for this movie. How would you do a red carpet for this movie? Like, and I guess put yourself in the mind space of like, well, watch it and we'll talk.
Stars on the spot when we asked, do you have any idea what Eyes Wide Shut literally means?
No, none at all, but I'm quite excited to find out.
What does the title Eyes Wide Shut mean?
The couple probably doesn't want to admit what's happening to them.
Val Kilmer nails it right out of the gate, but I do love like the jovial nature of that red carpet. It's like, all right, what do you think Oppenheimer's favorite candy was at the movie theater? It has that kind of energy. It's like, it's not the right, like, what does that mean? What's that title mean? But I love that Kilmer is like in the pocket, knowing it. Like, meanwhile, everybody else is showing up to this premiere. Like, I don't care. I'm showing up like that. One thing I refuse to do is show up to a premiere that I'm not in and walk the red carpet, or walk the red carpet and answer questions. I would never do that. It's like, what can I say? I wasn't involved in it. I show up to the movie. You make me take a picture in front of the movie, I'll do it. I did it for Spider-Man. I loved it. I love Spider-Man. I love the people who put together Spider-Man. I'm there to support, but I'm not going to walk the red carpet and be like, Spider-Man's cool. It's like, you don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from Jake Johnson. You want to hear from all the amazing people in the movie. You don't want to hear you don't want to have like, what do you think Eyes Wide Shut means? I don't know. I'm interested to see it. I guess people are saying that like they remember it as a movie where you would see Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman have sex on camera, but I believe that was Getaway, Kim Basinger, Alec Baldwin, because I had a laser disc of that was like the unrated edition of that movie that they did together, which I think it was a remake of a Steve McQueen movie. And I remember watching it being like, too much. But yes. So, okay.
Hey,
yes.
Paul.
Yes.
I have the lost episode.
Yes. Okay. Molly's got the lost episode. Okay. This is what I remember. I remember Ted Knight doing something in the kitchen, and then Monroe comes in and he's like all messed up. His hair's out of place, his tie's all over the place. He's like, I'm just gonna go to bed. And he's like, Monroe, what's wrong? And Monroe's like, I was raped. Something like that. That's how I remember the opening. And then I remember the end of Ted Knight at his own home, or maybe he's in the hallway of an apartment building. And then this happens. Let me answer a couple questions in chat before we show that. Was Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman married at the time? Yes, they were. Okay, let's go. Here we go. All right, opening scene of Monroe Got Raped. Was Monroe? I think he lived upstairs. I think he was a funny character, like a Kramer, and then they just made him move in. Okay, here we go. Great. This is our episode. This is our... Oh, yeah, there it is. Who is she waving to that big? There it is, JMJ. Oh, whoa, a baby is there. Who's the baby? Who had the baby? But they knew that that end was gold until they went to the fuck end. Okay.
Henry, would you get that, honey?
All right.
I'm sorry. Oh, funny phone.
No, Monroe isn't here. He left for work early today. He didn't. It's Monroe's boss. He never showed up.
Oh. What happened? Google Workspace. All
oh
right.
my God, I almost doxed myself.
Oh my gosh. Don't worry about it, Molly. Yeah. All right. Let's see.
Okay,
Oh, you got it? All right.
Hold on. Sorry.
By the way, first of all, I do want to comment. Look at that view. They must be so high up on the hill. They're like in a skyscraper. I love that a funny phone. I'm remembering now that Too Close for Comfort, the idea was that Ted Knight wore a different college sweatshirt in every episode. We cannot tell Rob this is a Too Close for Comfort stream. This is actually more sitcom digging in than we've ever done on. And look, this is a show that we had nothing prepared for. This is improv. This is the power of super producer Molly, our amazing crew pulling out this episode so far. Yeah, no narcs. Don't narc on us. The subject of a narc today. I'll tell you about that much. But besides that, okay. Let's see. Okay, so far I feel like we're on target. Here we go.
Work early today. He didn't. It's Monroe's boss. He never showed up for work this morning.
Why does he have like an old school phone?
I'll go wake him.
My daughter went up to wake him. Hey. Don't yell at me.
You know, his bed is still made. I don't think he came home last night.
You know, come to think of it, I don't remember hearing him come in.
That explains why his motorcycle wasn't here when I came home last night.
Monroe drives a motorcycle?
3:30.
3:30. I thought you said you came home just after midnight.
All right, pause it for 1 second, Molly, if we can.
After midnight. It's just not.
Why is he concerned? His daughter looks like to be in her mid-20s. She comes home at 3:30, which, by the way, is a questionable hour because I believe all bars close at 1:30 in California, or maybe that's just LA. But why? I see, like, she's a full-grown adult. Let her come home whenever. All right, let's go.
Not crowding it.
And you lied for her.
Well, after midnight, it's hard to be exact about the hour. It's one of those gray areas.
Oh, no. This is the gray area. And that comes from you two staying out late all night.
Well, don't yell at me. I never left the house. Yell at Monroe. He's the one that stayed out all night. Yeah. Oh, Monroe?
Okay, pause it one more time. So far, I'm right in my memory. Casual morning. I'm confused about the age of these girls. And it seems to me, by this opening scene, that they're sharing the same bedroom. They both look to be in their mid-20s, sharing the same bedroom. And then in the morning, the dad's like, what time did your sister get home? I have some questions about the parenting here, but got it. Okay.
Monroe, we were so worried.
Hi.
Are you all right?
Sure, I'm fine.
But Monroe, you didn't come home last night.
I know. I was tied up.
What do you mean you were tied up?
Literally.
I was kidnapped.
What?
Kidnapped?
Just drops the bomb.
Henry, quick!
What's wrong?
Monroe was kidnapped last night.
Kidnapped.
Kidnapped? Where?
In the parking lot of the mall last night. I was getting ready to leave when someone grabbed me and forced me into a van.
What?
I
He's
was
saying
threatened with physical violence if I didn't do exactly what they said.
pause. He is describing a Silence of the Lambs scenario right now. He was kidnapped, thrown into a van, and he's delivering that information as a broken man. Like, Jim J. Bullock used to be a punchline when I was a kid. He is doing some understated acting here, okay? This is wild. Richard Ballshaft brings up a good point. I believe survivors, but is there any chance that they thought he was a stripper? Yes, that police officer costume does look a little bit fake. He does look a little bit sheepish. Yes, he does look. I guess what I'm saying is he's playing the trauma well. Jim J or JMJ Bullock is playing trauma really well in this. I'm uncomfortable watching it. Okay, let's watch.
You mean there was more than one of them?
Of course. You don't think one person could take on Monroe? He's big and strong and a trained security guard. What was it, Monroe? A street gang? How many were there? 4, 5?
2 women.
Ha ha, pause.
You were kidnapped by
Women. That's the joke. That's right now. The joke is women. It was Jim J. Bullock is his name. I know that is true. But that is like, we went from this is gray to women. I love it. A nice shout out to the sock. Like, we know where it's going. We know that he is raped. But did they give him time to put back on his clothes? And why did why put it all back on? I don't know. Okay. Oh boy. I love this. All right, let's go.
by 2 women?
Well, I was at a great disadvantage with only one leg on the ground.
Where was your other leg?
In midair. I was just getting on my motorcycle when they struck.
They grabbed you from behind?
From underneath. Any resistance could have proved fatal.
And then they forced you into their van?
What kind of a van was it?
I don't know. I was blindfolded. I couldn't see a thing. One of the women drove and the big one stayed in back to keep me quiet.
But if you were blindfolded, how do you know she was big?
She sat on me.
Pause.
No.
Wow. This is a one. If you put this on as like a one-act play, you might win a Tony. This might be a Tony. I mean, Molly, this is the first time you're seeing it. Just reactions here. Okay, we got fat jokes, we got women jokes, we got old jokes. What do you? I mean, I know you know where it's going, but what are you thinking here?
Ultimately, I'm very offended that none of them are funny. These jokes are not funny. If you're going to make anti-women, you're going to make anti-fat jokes, make them be good.
Oh my god.
But also, this is just so uncomfortable. Oof.
This is and by the way, here's the thing, Molly, that I will say.
Yes.
When we talk about those episodes, those special episodes, it shows for kids, right? So it's like, hey, kids, just so you know, there are people out there that might want to kidnap you. Now, the delivery of that message might be scarier than intended, or if it's like, hey, there might be somebody out there that wants to touch you in an appropriate way. Those are important lessons. You see your characters that you love, experience them. And as a child, you know, whether it's Jesse taking pills on Saved by the Bell or dealing with bulimia, like these are issues that kids might be facing. And this show gives their issues a face. Oh, if Arnold went through it, I can go through it. If Jesse went through it, I can go through it. This is an adult sitcom. Like, this is not a very special episode, right? I mean, that's what I kind of am driving at here. This is not here to warn. This is here as like rape as a story. Like right. A story, B story, C story. This is like, no. The funny story is, what if Monroe got raped? I also find that Monroe riding a motorcycle is like a subtle jab at like, he would never ride. Like, I mean, I don't know what, maybe I'm reading into that too much. There's something about Monroe. Like, it almost feels like that's like a writer's joke. Like, he would never ride a motor. It's funny that we even say that he has a motorcycle, but I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into that one too much.
I don't know this man from Adam.
You don't know anything about Jim J. Bullock?
No, his name's J. Bullock.
Well, I mean, so Jim J. Bullock, American actor, born in Casper, Wyoming.
Are you reading the Wikipedia?
68 years old. Yes.
Okay.
And the thing is, in 1996, he did announce that he was gay. And I think he was one of those characters on, and this is, I guess, what I'm trying to get at. He was a gay man, not saying he was gay on this show, but clearly playing into gay jokes and gay stereotypes, right? But they don't. It's 85. We can't even go there. We just have to have like a guy like him, you know. So that's why I feel like there's making a joke about that. He was on Hollywood Squares, but anyway, he in 1996 he came out. So 10 years later, 11 years later, he came out about this. So okay, here we go.
But she broke my beeper.
Well, where did they take you?
To their apartment.
Well, did they tell you why you were kidnapped?
No, but the big one said that if I knew what was good for me, I better cooperate. And I cooperated. In fact, I cooperated all night.
Monroe, what do you mean that you cooperated?
I'd rather not talk about it.
Does anyone know what's going on here?
I think I do. Those two women were attracted to Monroe. They desired him and helped themselves.
Help themselves to what?
To Monroe. They had their way with him. Well, I called the police and reported it, and they're sending over a detective to get a statement.
Oh, I'm sure.
Wow.
I'm sure the detective is going to mock him relentlessly.
Oh, well, we have to watch more of this. Are people into watching a little bit more of this? Because this is wild. I am. And I will say this, Molly, I here's the thing. And I always say, you know, I want to open myself to being wrong. I have different thoughts every now and then. Maybe they're not perfect for prime time. Tough to rape a man. Tough to rape a man as a woman in certain ways, because if he's not like, you can't force a man to get hard. Now, there's other things you could do. I guess you could make them do. Sure. But like it's a trickier idea.
Listen, traditional like cis het rape, okay, maybe not, but like,
sure,
it depends on what your definition of is. Like any woman that is is behaving inappropriately towards a man, I would consider that sexual assault.
Okay,
now,
great.
Is that rape? I don't know, but Rob told me that.
Well, this is the thing, that you have to be married to have sex. Yeah, that's
exactly. Cool. Rob told me you had to be married in order to have sex, and also like, isn't mouth stuff sex? Like, could force him to do stuff to them.
All right. Well, here's the thing. I guess the idea is, yes, according to the chat, some people say an erection can be an involuntary response to rape. Arousal is not consent. I agree that arousal is not consent. I agree that I'm not saying arousal is consent, but I'm just saying that it feels a little bit like you can't. It seems like these women are like, you know, strap-ons. Okay, great. All I'm saying is, again, I'm not. I guess what I'm saying is, there's a lot of moving pieces that I feel like I have questions and I want to know. Okay, he was complying because they would get violent. You know, look, I opened myself up to these questions. So, okay, let's go on. Let's see what we got.
Okay, all right, let's see.
Monroe could tell them. He said he was blindfolded through the whole ordeal.
Dad, what was their reaction when you told them the victim was a man?
Oh, I didn't bother to tell him that. I didn't want to go into details over the phone.
Well, I really think you should have. It might make a big difference.
Why? It's the same crime, whether the victim is a man or a woman.
Thank you.
All right.
No, I don't think it's really the same, Dad.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Agree. You know, a woman is helpless in a situation like that, but a man, I mean, I just don't see how it could happen without his cooperation.
I'll buy that.
Pause it. So they're right. Okay. First of all, got good on them. They're addressing a question that I had. Oh, wow. And Ted Knight seems to be in the right. Ted Knight is right. It doesn't make a difference. Attack, assault, a molestation, it's all the same. Doesn't make a difference, man or woman. But the household feels like he should have done something. All right, interesting. Here we go.
I'm gonna take it back a little because I
Okay, yeah.
need to go on.
I'll buy that.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Good.
What kind of double standard is this?
Yes.
It's not a double
What?
standard.
Oh, yes, it is.
Wow.
You three are always talking about equal rights, and now, suddenly, only women are attacked? If it happens to a man, he's a willing participant?
But Monroe did say he cooperated.
Well, he was prisoner. He was threatened. He had no choice. I suppose you feel those two women shouldn't be prosecuted.
Oh, no, of course they should be prosecuted if they're really guilty.
What do you mean if they're guilty? Of course they're guilty.
Oh, honey, come on, don't get excited.
I'm not excited.
Wow.
I'm just annoyed that you refuse to believe that Monroe was a victim of a crime.
Dad, it's not that we don't believe it, but somehow it just doesn't seem as serious when it happens to a man.
Whoa, pause it. Wow. Did not see this turn coming at all. I mean, first of all,
is this why this is a lost episode? Is because like Ted Knight's on the right side of history?
I love it. I mean, this should be launched into the universe here. Wow. I mean, look, this is a conversation about rape with a laugh track, 100%. And I do want to just make it out to be like, I think that they're walking this. Wow. Did this space your view of the? Yeah. I mean, look at the same time. I am a child of this show, so I'm learning here. Here we go. Let's see what. Yeah,
Paul, I'm a little nervous that at the end of this repartee, then his character is gonna disappoint us again. Ted Knight is gonna disappoint us and be like,
I don't think he is.
Okay.
No,
okay.
I feel they put him on the right side of history. Here we go.
Okay, I sure hope so.
Dad, it's not that we don't believe it, but somehow it just doesn't seem as serious when it happens to a man.
Oh, he hears it.
Well, don't ask me why. It just doesn't.
Listen, everybody, if you don't mind, I'd just like to forget the whole thing.
Monroe,
Common
you can't
reaction.
Pretend this just didn't happen.
Mr. Rush, I really would prefer to put the whole experience out of my mind. I'll just get a new beeper and start all over.
Monroe, let's go in the other room where we can talk man to man.
Wow, I am blown away.
Is this part of the comedy of like, oh, we're switching it on our heads? Like what these women are saying is like what a guy would say, and what Ted Knight and the victim are saying are like what a woman would say.
Oh,
like
I wonder if that is. I mean, look, this is
subtle.
90% more progressive than I thought it was. All right, so I think that here's the thing: you couldn't do the story at this time. I mean, look, it's a wild swing on either side of the fence. I mean, to do a sitcom version of this story. But this is like actually, this is wow. Let's just keep on watching. Let's see what this conversation is.
Really, Mr. Rush, why don't we just drop the whole thing and forget about it?
Monroe, those two women who abducted you must be brought to justice. You mustn't allow yourself to be intimidated by criminals.
I'm not intimidated by criminals. I'm intimidated by justice. I've seen what happens to those rape victims on those movies on television.
Wow. You shouldn't watch that kind of movie.
That's the only kind they make.
Look, son. Sit down. Don't make any decisions just yet. Let's see how you feel after you talk to the detective.
What detective?
Well, I sent for the police. They're going to come and ask some questions.
Oh, I really wish you hadn't called the police, Mr. Rush.
Monroe, those two women abducted you, didn't they? They blindfolded you and forced you to go with them, didn't they? And then they
sure did.
That's why the police must be told. All right.
All right, pause it from where this is. All right. Wow. So here's what I'll say about this. Now I'm looking at this episode slightly differently, which is there is something about this episode where maybe the writers are like, hey, we want to do a story about going to the police if you've been attacked or assaulted. And the only way we can tell that story is through Monroe, because we'll be laughing about it, but we can ask him all the questions. Like, it's a more palatable way to deliver this on some level, I guess. Like, I guess because what they're saying is all on the right. Right. And Monroe is saying he doesn't want to do it because he's afraid of this and retribution and all that sort of stuff. So there is something about this that is weird, that is right. But I will say they are really infantile. They're making Monroe look like a child. Like he looks like Mork from Ork here in this outfit. Like it's a little, I want him to look a little bit older. Like I feel like now I'm feeling like he shouldn't even been exposed to sex. Like he feels younger than the daughters. And I think he's older than them, but I don't know. All right, let's see.
Max, talk to him. Tell him exactly what happened.
Okay, but it's going to be embarrassing.
Henry Rush?
Yes?
Inspector Moffat, you reported a rape victim?
Yes, please come in. This is my tenant, Monroe Ficus.
What do you say? Was the victim your wife, daughter?
Oh, thank goodness, no. It's him.
Mr. Ficus, did you know the assailant?
No, sir.
He was blindfolded. Tell him.
I was blindfolded.
I know, he told me.
The assailants were two women. Tell him.
The assailants were two women.
I got that. Mr. Ficus, if you were blindfolded, how can you be so sure you didn't know the assailants?
Well, once they got me into their apartment, they felt it was okay to take off the blindfold.
So you did see what they look like.
Okay, Molly, where are you at?
No, now this is a new wrinkle.
Yeah, right. He was taken to a second location. Monroe was taken to a second location, unblindfolded, and now I'm learning all of this. Wow. All right, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I asked for the blindfold back.
Solid joke. Solid.
Violence? Were you injured in any way?
Tell him.
Well, they did hurt my shoulder a little when they threw me into the bathtub full of Jell-O.
Jell-O? A bathtub full of Jell-O?
Oh, sure. Jell-O, yogurt, tapioca. They all have their own MOs.
I never heard of such a thing.
Well, we get this all the time. Some of the real sickos go for shredded wheat.
Pause. Now we're going into bananas land. Okay, now we're going into that rapists have MOs of throwing people into bathtubs full of food to be raped or humiliated. I don't know. Tapioca. And the cop, I'm giving props now to the cop who is not really, I expected the cop to be like, really? This guy raped? No way. They're going in a different direction, which is he's taking it deadly seriously and going like, no, we have a whole file on San Francisco rapists. Like, which one was it? The tapioca rapist? The Jell-O rapist? Wow. All right, let's keep on going. People think he's being sarcastic.
You got any idea where it's located?
No, sir, I don't.
Well, I guess that's about all the information I'll need. Unless you want to file a complaint.
Unless he wants to file a complaint. Of course he wants to file a complaint. Tell him.
Well, I'm not sure. What do you think I should do, officer?
Personally, if it were me, Mr. Ficus, I'd drop it.
It's dropped.
What kind of advice is that?
Mr. Rush, even if we found the two women, which is doubtful, and he pressed charges, why, their lawyers would have a field day in court. And so would the newspapers. This poor kid here would wind up going through a worse ordeal than he did last night. But how bad was it, really?
Well, the big one did break my beeper.
Oh, wow.
He's going to think that means penis.
What? Part of his equipment.
All right, so now they're making dick jokes.
Great. What do we got here?
That's what I figured. Well, have a nice day.
What? That's it?
I mean, this is tracking. I agree. Like, this is
tracking.
Oh.
It's tracking.
What kind of a police officer is that to tell you to forget about it? Well, I've got news for him. You're not going to forget about it. You and I are going to comb this city, Monroe. We're going to find those two women, and we're going to put them behind bars where they belong. It's our responsibility as citizens.
I don't know about that, Mr. Rush. I think the detective was right. You know, we'll probably never find those two women, and even if we did, a trial would be very embarrassing. You know, I guess when something like this happens to a man, nobody takes it seriously.
That's why
it
you
just
have
becomes
to
a big
do it.
joke.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be a joke.
You're not a joke to me, JM.
No, we love
I thought you
JM.
made a better stuff than this. I thought when the chips were down and justice cried out to be done, that you put aside your personal feelings, rise to the occasion like a real man.
Pause. This is problematic because he's using his manhood. Again, we're unpacking some stuff. What I'm most concerned about is that at this point in the episode, Ted Knight becomes a full-on, like he's going Death Wish now. He's like, we're going to hunt. This is a show about a dad raising two daughters. We go from what time did you come home to let's go and comb the city for rapists. Okay, let's go.
You really always felt that way about me, Mr. Rush?
You bet I did.
You weren't even close.
All right. Monroe can't sleep. Wait, are they having sex?
In the kitchen?
No, that's the bedroom.
It's me, Monroe. I have to talk to Mr. Rush.
Now!
It's very important, Mr. Rush. Can I come in?
No! No,
He's so childlike.
He really is a child.
Yeah.
By the way, pause for a second here. Again, an odd idea to be like, oh yeah, they're going to bed that night. Like, oh, so crazy. Monroe was raped last night. You want to get it on? Like, for them to have sex that night. That night. Oh my God. All right. So what do you think, Monroe? What do you think Mr. Roper, Mr. Roper, what do you think Mr. Rush is going to be wearing? Is he going to be in a sexy outfit or is he going to be robed up too?
I think he's going to be putting a robe on. We're not going to see what's on underneath. What if he's wearing another college sweatshirt? That would be great.
I think we're going to see boxers. All right. What do we got? Let's see. Oh, we see legs.
Ooh,
robe.
Okay, robe.
Ooh.
This better be important.
Oh, it is, Mr. Rush. I thought over what you said this morning about seeing justice done, and you are right.
Good. Good. See you in the morning.
So I'm going to call the police and tell him I'm willing to press charges.
Oh, Monroe, no, you can't do it. That's not a good idea. You heard what the detective said? He tried to talk you out of filing a complaint.
Oh, you're right. Well, then
Wait.
maybe I should do what you said.
Absolutely.
Pause.
Well,
Wait. This is a confusing part. This is confusing. So he finally comes to like, I'm going to press charges. Like, don't do that. And now he's going to remind Ted Knight that just a few hours earlier, Ted Knight suggested that they go fucking Batman on the city. So let's see.
To be fair, Ted Knight's character's blood is in all sorts of different places. He's
Right.
not thinking clearly.
Ted's got blue balls right now. So he's like, just let's go. Okay, let's see what happens here.
Remember, you said as responsible citizens, it's our duty to comb this city, find those two women, and bring them to justice.
I said that, didn't I? Well, that's what we'll do. First thing in the morning. Good night, Monroe.
But I have no idea where they took me.
That's what we'll work on first thing in the morning. That's what I said. First thing in the morning. Did you hear that?
Yeah. You said we're going to work on it.
First thing in the morning. That's the key part of the sentence. You got that?
I got it. See ya.
First thing in the morning.
So basically, so then Ted Knight goes back in. Oh, honey, what was it? Oh, we were just talking about Monroe's rape. You want to continue having sex? Please say they cut. Oh, she's already asleep.
Okay. You're pulling out of the mall parking lot.
What the fuck?
Which direction did you go?
He's all right.
Good. You sure it was west?
Oh, he's like
positive.
Hypnotizing
You can
him?
only go out the west exit
No,
after
he's
5 o'clock.
pause it for a
That's
second.
Leland
So what
Boulevard.
he's doing is he's laying down to remember the sensations his body felt in the
Okay.
truck. So I thought it was going to be something else. All right. And yes, I was, wow, Wandering Man bringing up sneakers. I was about to bring up sneakers. Yeah. So they're reenacting. Yes. Let's keep on going. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, no. Leland is east. Haywood is north. If you want west, you take Allen.
You're right.
Okay, how far did the van go on Allen?
Until we got to Jenkins.
How do you know it was Jenkins?
Because we came to a stop for a few minutes. And I know there's a traffic light on the corner of Allen and Jenkins.
You're right. Then what?
I know it's pre-sneakers, but
then
maybe
we
sneakers stole it.
Turned left at the light, went 2 blocks, then made a right.
2 blocks, that would be Broderick.
No, I think it's Crawford.
You're right. Then
What? We're in
we
the
went down
weeds.
Crawford for a couple of miles, and then
By the
I
way, pause
remembered
this.
2 big hills.
What a wild scene to be eating up time. I mean, this feels like they are trying to fill time because what we really have had is the reveal. We have the reveal.
Yes.
Got it. We have the admission. We have the police scene, and now we're just going over details. Like we're just killing time here. We're talking about street names. All right,
You
but
know
let's see.
what? You know what would be great to fill up time? B story or C story.
No,
Any
there's
story.
no more.
Okay.
This thing's almost over. Look at it. We're almost there. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Ah, here they are. Parton and Parton Place.
Parton and Parton. Is that like a Dolly Parton
brings
joke?
us into the Tenderloin district. Full of fleabag hotels, rundown apartments, sleazy bars, and the opera house. Okay, we pinpointed the neighborhood. Now all we gotta do is find the exact street.
How do we do that?
I don't know. Did either one of the women say anything that might give us a lead?
The little one did a lot of complaining. She kept saying stuff like, why do I have to do all the driving? Why don't you drive for a while and let me sit on them? And the big one just said, I'll just shut up and get us to the Dixie Arms.
The Dixie Arms, that's it. That's where they live. We found it, Monroe.
Hey, what's going on?
We just discovered where those 2 women who kidnapped Monroe live.
Oh, and you're calling the police?
No, we're going to handle this ourselves.
What do you mean?
Mr. Rush and I are going to go to their apartment and see that justice is done.
Oh, Henry, you can't be serious. Those women may be dangerous.
Oh, only if they sit on you.
Ah, here it is, Dixie Arms, 357 East Clintwood.
Henry, I am not
Clintwood?
gonna let you
Is that
do
like
this.
Clint Eastwood?
No, we're not going to be heroes. Just going to go to the apartment, going to ring the bell. When they open the door, Monroe recognizes one of them. We go to the police. Come on, Monroe, let's go.
Okay.
That's not
Wait,
how this
wait,
works.
Just a second.
They're going to, well, they know where they
What are
live.
those
Just
spoons for?
Yes.
In case we get captured, we might need to eat our way out of the Jello.
so what was he doing in the Jello? Eat this.
I don't
All right,
know.
here we are. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Knock on the door. As soon as they open the door, if you recognize one of them, give me the word, and we'll dash down to the nearest phone. Okay? Got it. On second thought, we don't want them to think you brought help, so I'll get behind you.
This is bad. You're a bad friend.
They'll hear me.
We want them to hear us. Why else would they open the door?
I'm glad I brought you along.
All right. Vigilante justice.
Well, look who's back.
That's her! The little one!
Okay. Whoa. First of all, that's I forget her name from the Drew Carey show. Yes, I'm like pretty positive. She's hilarious. I'm just remembering her. She's like a comedy
Mimi.
She is Kathy Kinney. I'm pretty sure it's Kathy Kinney. Yes, it is Kathy Kinney. All right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. So yes. Wow.
What is Sneakers?
Sneakers, the movie, is probably in the 90s, mid 90s. I would say like 92, 93.
They do that like regression thing.
No, so what? And Sneakers, the movie, David Strathairn is blind, but he's deaf. Sorry, that was totally wrong. He is blind, so his sense of hearing is highly sophisticated. So what they do is they put him in a van, and he's able to say, "Oh, we were on gravel, then we were on this kind of road, then we were on that kind of road." Like he was able to put together where the van went through hearing the thing. Sneakers came out in 1992. So this is 7 years after. 7 years after. All right. All right. Let's check this out. Here we go. And again, we open up on a very big fat joke. Uh-oh.
Hey, Monica, we got company. Heat up the Jello.
Heat up the Jello.
Kid must have had a good time.
I guess maybe they're making it fresh.
He brought his old man around.
I'm not his father, and this is not a social call.
Lighten up, baby, and sit down.
Oh.
It's body time.
What?
Hey, Monica.
Oh, it's not her. It's not her.
Yeah.
Get off.
Oh.
You're ready? I'm ready.
What?
Maybe they're gonna fight in the Jello? Wrestle?
I don't
Murphy
know
bed.
what they're doing. Murphy bed. Of course.
Murphy bed.
Keep the sheets.
What is she doing?
No. My friend is downstairs on the phone. He's calling the police, and they'll be here any minute.
Are you out of your silver bird? The cops don't come in this neighborhood except to party. Now stop being such a tease and let's go.
I'm not getting in that bed, and nothing you can do will make me.
Oh, no?
No.
Monica!
Uh-oh,
they
I'm
won't
nervous.
cooperate.
Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord.
Ay.
Okay.
You just left him there.
That was our plan.
Was that a man in a wig?
Or
Or was that I don't know. It was I don't
suspect
know.
so because this person was so tall that maybe that's the joke.
It was a man in a wig. Okay, people are saying it's a man in a
Yeah.
wig. Yeah, okay, I was a man in a wig.
Okay.
The conception of sex that these women have is now suspect. Like, I agree. I believe Monroe that he was attacked and he was raped, but I'm also now curious about what these women do, which are just, it seems like shoving them in Jello, sitting on them, and just like basically like army commanding them to have sex. All right, so here we go. Let's see what we got.
And use the phone booth. But before I could do that, I got mugged. And I had to sell my shoes to this wino for a dime so I could make the call. By the time I got back, the police were already there.
That's because I had the good sense to call the police right after you two left.
I wish I would have known you were going to do that, Mrs. Rush. Those were my good shoes.
Oh, Henry.
Uh-oh, Henry got
you
that.
all right? Oh.
It was a nightmare, Muriel. Thank goodness the cops came when they did before anything happened.
Ms. Rush, you can be proud of your husband. He was a brave man to do what he did. Those two women outweighed him 11-1. Mr. Ficus, you still want to file that complaint, I'll be happy to give you a lift downtown.
Okay,
Well, I certainly
Right.
do. I feel it's my responsibility.
That's good. You're a gutsy guy.
Good.
Well,
Okay, he's
I
changed
owe
his
that to
attitude.
Mr. Rush.
Well, let's go.
Before we get downtown, could we stop at the mall? They're having a shoe sale.
Sure.
Isn't that where it all
By the way,
began?
that's the out.
Put you into
Okay.
a nice hot bed.
Now we're here. All right, Molly, we're at my memory. Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh,
Ready?
I'm nervous.
Mr. Rush?
Oh.
I want to thank you for your support. You know, this experience has taught me a very valuable lesson. And it's nice to know that if I ever get in trouble again, you'll be right there beside me to see me through, no matter how rough it might be.
It's nice to know you feel that way, Monroe.
Well, I certainly do.
But you're not even close.
Oh, all right. Wait. Let's see. That's it.
Well, hold on. Maybe
He wasn't
there's
grabbed out.
What does
That's
that
how it
mean?
ended? Wow.
Charlene. Okay, that's the name of the.
All right. Well, I guess I was wrong about the end moment where he was pulled out of the house by the rapist. All right. So
Oh, wow.
there it was. That was it.
Wait.
False memory. Let's just make sure there's nothing else. False
that's
memory.
It. Go back to the
False
beginning.
memory. Wow. I think that would have been a better ending. That's crazy that I remembered that. I remembered parts of it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was pulled into the apartment. I mean, I'm not justifying my memory of it. That's why I said I wouldn't look at, like, I would tell that story now from On and On, saying at the end they raped Ted Knight.
They didn't. They didn't go
They
through
did
with
it.
it, but
But they did it. They did kind of manhandle him and assault him slightly. They did sit on him, and they,
Yes.
Wow.
Nothing to indicate that they were a lesbian couple, though, Paul.
That's also a thing that was again made up in my mind.
Memory.
I remember seeing a red flannel shirt in an arm, and now maybe that was another show that I'm more, because I feel like there was still a show where they grabbed him out, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
You know what, Paul? Maybe we have to turn this into, what's the name of the show that we're watching?
Too Close for Comfort.
Maybe this is a Too Close for Comfort podcast. Rob who?
Oh my gosh, I Bernstein buried myself. Look, and this is why I said I would never wanted to Google it. The story that I was telling was better than the actual. Oh wait, maybe they refilmed the bumper.
I think that must be what had happened.
What did it say on the retroist? Because the retroist might have the.
I'm gonna look.
I need some help. I need some help on this one. All right, let's see. All I'm saying is the 80s was a rough place. Okay, here we go. This is the proof of the Monroe. All right, and then, all right, let's see. Continue reading. After okay, okay, like I'm going through it. I'm reading this episode synopsis.
I'm looking at a different article.
All right, so it did air, and then there's a clip. All right, if anyone knows, there's a wiki write-up. No joke. All right. There's a lot of. All right. Somebody who's just reading the Wikipedia entry. Tell me what you're seeing. Let's just see.
Oy, oy, oy. Oy, oy.
All right. Well, there it is. Was there a B story? I mean, the B story was that, I guess the daughter was out late too. Maybe the daughter set him up.
I don't know.
Again, this is all.
Story? What was the B story? There was no B story.
There was no B story.
I think that being out late at night was just like a joke to get into where Monroe is.
Yeah. See, look, this is. I remember a large march from Pee Wee Herman wearing a red flannel. It could be a false memory. See, like there are these things that you just have in your head. Maybe you've pushed them all together. I don't know. I want to know. I want to. Yeah.
It could have actually happened, but.
Or maybe it's a different episode where Ted gets beat up. The whole show is a B story. That is like The Dark Phantom That Haunts You is the episode of Too Close for Comfort where Monroe is raped by two women in the back of a van. Wow. And on the gayest episode ever, they do a whole podcast about it. And they let's see what they say. I'm just trying to think. My gosh. All right. Well, if anyone has any more details about the ending of this episode that I remember, anyone is a thing. And look, I remembered it wrong. I remembered it wrong. Wow. Now I feel like a real jerk.